In this lecture video, so we are going to talk about angles and angular measure. And it is actually part of trigonometry, which is one of the branches of mathematics. So to start with, what is an angle? So I know you already encountered this one when you were in junior high school. And to recall, when you say angle, it is formed by two rays or two sides which shares a common endpoint or vertex. So to illustrate, this is the angle. So we have here our common vertex and we have here our two rays. We also have here another two illustrations. So in this first illustration, diba, this is our angle. Always remember, class, that an angle has two sides, right? The starting side is what they call the initial side. Well, if the angle stops here, kana siya nga side is what we call as the terminal side or the end side of an angle. Always remember as well that an angle starts with a positive x-axis. This is our x-axis, right? This part is negative and this is our positive axis. Always remember that the initial side always in the positive x-axis. So we also have here two rotations. As you can see, when can we determine if the rotation is positive or negative? So we're just going to look for the arrow. As you can see, this green arrow here, it actually determines the rotation of your angle. So if the arrow rotates into counterclockwise position or rotation, that the angle is positive. On the other hand, if the arrow rotates clockwise rotation, the angle is negative. Again, two rotations, positive and negative. If counterclockwise, that is positive. If the rotation is clockwise, that is negative. We also have here angular measure. And I say angular measure, it's the amount of opening of an angle. And it is the measure of the rotation from the initial side to your terminal side. So when you are in junior high school, I know the first unit that you have encountered is degrees when you talk about angles, no? Degrees gina siya. Ilan man ang half of a circle that is 180 degrees? How about the quarter quarter of a circle, so that is 90 degrees. No? So in degrees siya that almost commonly na meet. Okay? And 1 degree, class, is actually equal to 1 over 360 degrees radian. So saan na ang radian? It is another unit of measurement of an angle. So in radian. So radian, it's the measure of the subtended by an arc or subtended arc of a circle whose length is equal to the radius. So where in subtended arc, it is denoted with letter S, and radius, it is denoted with small letter R of the circle. Again, radian, it is the measurement of the subtended arc of an angle. So equal mo radius of ang imong subtended arc. For example, in this illustration, so in this illustration, we have here a circle. No? Half of a circle, as we all know, the measurement of the half of a circle is 180 degrees. But if we convert it to radians, that is equal to pi. So how did we get pi and why is it pi? All right. So from the center going to your circumference, that is your radius, and the length radius is also equal to the subtended arc. And if we try to continue the subtended arc, okay, let's say this is the second measurement for the assertion, and the third measurement. And as you can see, we have created here three parts. Three parts nga naapagit siya sobra. There is a remaining part here. Kani siya. Kani siya nga sobra. Kani siya. that will determine the remaining of your 3 radians. Okay? So, as you can see, we have created 3 slices. So, 3 slices with a remaining part of a circle. Huwag siya kaabot sa half of a circle. And as we all know that the conversion of pi is 3.14222. That is continuous measurement of a number. So, mo na siya explanation nga pi na siya. It's because of the slices. And if you might verify it in your end, on your end. So, kung mag circle diha, tigi na siya exactly mo land on sa half sa circle. Nagi na siya gamay diha nga remaining. And that is why 3.14 is also equal to pi. And in degrees, pi is equals to 180 degrees. Okay, so I hope that is clear. So next, let us know what is an angular measures conversion. So we have here from radian to degrees and degrees to radian. So 1 rad is equal to 180 degrees over pi, and 1 degrees is also equal to pi over 180 degrees rad or radian. By the way, the symbol of radian is rad. And take note, class, that if you are going to convert from radian to degrees, always remember to use this one. Para madali niyo ma-remember, kung mag-convert mo to degrees, always remember, dapat ang iyong numerator kay in degrees. On the other hand, from degrees, you're going to convert it to radian. So, dapat ang iyong numerator must be in radian or in pi. Okay. For example, convert the following radian measures into degrees. First given is pi over 8. So, let us try to convert pi over 8 to degrees. Since our goal is to convert this to degrees, of course, we need to use the measurement or the conversion formula 180 degrees over pi. Ang imuhang numerator kay in degrees, kay imuhang goal is the conversion to degrees man. Alright, so to recall, when we are going to multiply fractions, of course, numerator to numerator and denominator to its denominator. So, 180 degrees. 180 degrees times pi, so 180 degrees pi over lahat. Over 8 times pi, so 8 pi. So to simplify, of course, makancel gini ang ato ang symbol ng pi. Mabili na lang kay degrees. 180 degrees divided by 8. So that is 180 degrees divided by 8. So that is 45 over 2 in fraction. So 45 over 2 in fraction, and in decimal, that is 22.5 degrees. Make sure to write degrees, okay? Because that is, of course, our goal. Next, 2 pi, convert it to degrees. So 2 pi times 180 degrees, so that is 360 degrees pi over 1 times pi, so that is pi. So makancel diri, of course, ang pi nga symbol. So 360 over 1, so that is equals to 360. And that is why a full revolution of a circle, half of it is pi. But half of a circle, this is pi. Pi plus pi, so that is equals to 2 pi. So ang whole di ay revolution, so sa ka-circle, that is 2 pi. In degrees, that is 360 degrees. Okay? Next. So convert degree measures into radian. So from 225 degrees, we're going to convert this into radian. And of course, converting to radians, always remember that your numerator must be pi or pi rad. Okay? So pi over 180 degrees. So the same procedure. 225 degrees times pi, so that is 225 degrees pi. Asan siya ang aki? So 1 over times 180, so that is 180 degrees. And ang makancel of course dili is ang degree nga symbol, right? So mabili na lang kay si radian or si pi. So 225 divided by 180, so that is 5 over, kani siya, 5 pi over 4. They are both divisible by 45 degrees. 45. So if you try to divide 225 divided by 45, so that will equal to 5. 180 divided by 45, so that is equals to 4. And the conversion of 225 degrees to radian, so that is 5 pi over 4. On the other hand, 45 degrees converts it to radian. So 45 degrees times pi, so that is 45. So that is 45 degrees pi over 180 degrees. So makancel diri of course kay si degrees. Mabili na lang kay ang pi. 45 and 180, they are both divisible by 45, di ba? So kung i-divide na to, 45 divided by 45, that is equal to 1, di ba? 180 divided by 45, so that is equals to 4. And since napamatay pi diri nga symbol, kapiha si pi. Since pi raman siya 1 pi, pwede rin kaayo na ma-invisible ang imuhang pi, imuhang 1, sorry. Imuhang 1, ma-invisible. So, finally, final answer is pi over 4. So 45 degrees is also equal to pi over 4. Okay, next. Alright, so to continue. So we have here angle in standard position. When you say angle in standard position, it is the position of an angle with its vertex at the origin of a rectangular coordinate system and its initial side coinciding with the positive x-axis. Of course, it always starts with the positive x-axis. So this is this illustration. This is in standard position. So this is your positive x-axis, and the rotation is clockwise, counterclockwise, and it stops here. So kani siya nga side is what we call as the terminal side. Next is coterminal angles. When you say coterminal angles, those are two angles in standard position are said to be coterminal if their terminal sides coincide. So kung ingon tag co-teachers, diba? Co-teachers, they are also teachers. Tag co-students, they are also students. No? Here in coterminal, they are also having the same terminal sides. So for example, in this illustration, we have here angle 45 degrees. In this angle, the terminal side is kani siya, kani black. This is the terminal, this is our initial side. Kani siya nga terminal side is magita ta sa iyahang coterminal, both positive and negative. So if we try to start here from the circle, from the initial side, kung mo-rotate na siya, ato ang first angle, i-rotate niya, mo-stop siya dali sa terminal. So, if stop na niya, mo na siya iyahang last or pinaka-last niya diha. And if we try to calculate the angle, kani siya nga angle, kani, this one. If we try to calculate this, stop siya diha, that is equals to 360 degrees, di ba? And then, pila man ni siya kaning measurement. So 360 degrees, and as we all know, that from terminal going to this side is 45 degrees. So we're just going to add 45 degrees at 360 degrees to get the first coterminal positive angle. So 360 plus 45 degrees, so that is equals to 405 degrees. And that is our positive coterminal angle. On the other hand, kung mo rotate sa clockwise rotation, so i-rotate na to, ano siya, stop sa siya diri sa terminal side mo man yung ilahang end side asa ka mo puno. So i-stop niya diha ato then i-calculate pila man ni siya. As we all know that from here going here, kani siyang rotation is negative 180 degrees. And gikan ani padulong sa diri sa terminal, di ba, other half of a circle is 180 degrees. So you just have to subtract 180 minus 45 degrees. So kani siya di ay nga angle is 135 degrees. Kani. This angle or this rotation ikan sa half sa circle kani siya, this is 135. So 180 degrees plus negative 135 degrees. So that is equals to 315 degrees. And that is our negative coterminal angle. And there is actually a mas easier no way to calculate the value of the coterminal angles. Naatay or formula. So the formula for that is angle minus 360 degrees. So, pila hatag diha nga angle minus nimo sa 360 degrees. So, mao na imong negative coterminal. Coterminal. Kung pag-add sa kag 100, So, this is your angle at kadirag 360 degrees. So, that is your positive coterminal angle. Positive coterminal. Positive co. So, ganira siya ang formula. Angle minus 360 degrees, so that is your negative. And then angle plus 360, so that is your positive coterminal degrees. For example, tagaan ka og, let's say, a negative. As we all know, this is 0. This is negative 90 degrees. By the way, this is in degrees. Negative 180 degrees. This is negative 270 degrees. So from terminal, diba, this is our initial side. So rotation is here. Always remember to put an arrow to indicate the rotation. So this angle is or measures negative 100 degrees. Yung siya nga angle. So if we try to use the formula, so ang given din mo nga angle or theta, angle theta, by the way, this is theta symbol. So theta, it is a Greek letter. So theta. Si theta, mo na siya si 100 degrees. Negative 100 degrees. Ang itaon na to, ang iyahang negative coterminal. So negative 100 degrees minus 360 degrees. So that is equals to negative 460 degrees. Kung ang imong pangitaon sad is ang positive coterminal, so negative 100 degrees plus 360 degrees. So that is equal to 260 degree angle. So kung ato sad na siyang i-illustrate diri sa ato ang circle, kung mangita ta sa negative, gikan diri sa imong initial, tuyo ka. Di ka pwede mo stop lang diha sa terminal. Kung mo stop ka diri, the same sila, measure negative 100 degrees. So mo continue yung kag-rotate ana. Continue kag-rotate, stop ka diri sa terminal. I-stop nimo sa terminal, that is equal to negative 460 degrees. Kung mangita sad ta sa positive, gikan gihapon sa terminal, sa initial, sorry, i-rotate niya, stop siya diha, and that is our 260-degree angle. Anong na to 60-degree angle mo na siya? Half of a circle, that is 180 degrees. And if we subtract 100 to 80 degrees, so that is, ang remaining kani siya diri, this is, ang measurement na niya, that is 60 degrees. Oh, sorry, 80 degrees. So, i-add mo 80 plus 180, so that is equal to 260 degrees. So, mao na siya ang way to calculate the coterminal angles. Next, let us talk about reference angles. So, when you say reference angle, by the way, ang ato ang angular measure, di ba na siya symbol nga theta? Na siya symbol nga theta. Kung mangita ta sa reference angle, ang symbol sa dana niya sa reference is theta prime. Theta prime. So when you say reference angle, it is a positive acute. Say acute, of course, less than 90 degrees, less than 90 degrees. That can represent an angle of any measure. Okay, so always kita siya positive si reference. Bis pagtagaan ka nila angle measure nga negative, but iyang reference angle is always positive. So, reference angle is always the smallest angle that you can make from the terminal. So, mag-start di ka sa terminal side, going to the x-axis. And ang reference angle is always or uses the x-axis as its frame of reference. So, we have here our 4 quadrants. Diba? To recall, when you were in junior high school, so this is our Cartesian plane. Let's say this is our Cartesian plane. This is our x-axis. This is positive, this is negative. This is our y-axis. This is positive, this is negative. In this side, this is what we call as the first quadrant. Sa first quadrant, natay symbol. Sa x na to, kung ato siyang i-coordinate, sa x, ang positive x, ang ato ang x here kay positive. Ato ang y kay positive sad. So sa first quadrant, ang symbols niya kay positive, positive. And sa second quadrant, ato ang x kay negative, ang ato ang y kay positive sa second quadrant. Sa third quadrant, ang ato asang x kay negative, ang ato ang y is negative as well. Sa fourth quadrant, ato ang x kay positive, ato ang y kay negative. So, fixed na gina siya. Bisan pagtagaan ka diha og negative angle, fixed na gina si first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. Di gina mahimo nga magka-interchange ang kani siyang ilahang placements. Okay? So sa reference angle, we have here, if the rotation is counterclockwise, o gini siya ang atong gamiton nga formula. Reference angle minus 180 degrees, nani siya degrees? Natayan, 180 degrees minus angle. Sa first quadrant, reference angle is also equal to the given angle. Sa third quadrant, reference angle is equal to angle minus 180 degrees. And then sa fourth quadrant, 360 degrees minus the given angle. So what is the reference angle of the following angles? For example, you are given 50 degrees. As we all know that in our circle, kani siya diri, this is 0 degree, this is 90 degrees, and this is 180 degrees, kani siya diri. This is 270 degrees, and then the full revolution of a circle is 360 degrees, diba? So, si 0 degrees, from 0, count ka diha, padulong diri. So, mao ni siya si 50 degrees. 50 degree angle, mao ni mo theta. Theta is equals to 50 degree angle. Mao ni siya ang imuhang given angle. So, now, atong pangitaon ang reference. Kung mangita ta sa reference, mag-start kita sa iyahang terminal side. So, as we all know, this is the terminal side of our given angle. So, atong pangitaon, ang reference, diba, reference is always less than 90 degrees, an angle that is less than 90 degrees. So if we try to measure from terminal going to X, and the other side from terminal going to X gihapon. Kay, gikan sa definition, X-axis is the frame. Okay? So, if we try to calculate this one, this is over 90 degrees, sobra pa sa 90. And reference angle, it is always less than 90 degrees. So, that is why, kani siya nga angle is our reference angle kani siya. And this measurement is 50 degrees. So, the reference angle of the given angle is 50 degrees. And as you can see in our formula, reference angle is also equal to the angle itself. Bisang pagtagaan kag 80 degrees niya, automatic, mao gina siya. 80 degrees ang iyang reference, basta naa sa first quadrant. Next, 135 degrees. From 0 to 180, so naa siya sa second quadrant. So sa second quadrant, that is, sa second quadrant na to, let's say this is our angle. Angle 135 degrees. Kani siya nga angle, this is 135 degree. Kung ato ang i-measure, asa pangitaon na to pangitaon na tong angle na less than 90, so kani gid siya obviously. This one, kani siya. So pila man daw ni? Kung ato siya half sa circle, di ba, that is 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus na nimo 135 degrees. So makakuha kita sa answer nga 45 degrees angle. Next, 200 degrees. 200 degrees, na ako na siya diri sa ato ang third quadrant. Let's say this is angle 200 degrees. So sa pagpangita sa ato ang reference angle, di ba, from terminal going to your x-axis, so mao man siya diri nga side ang less than 90 degrees. So pila man daw ni? Half of a circle, that is 180. So 200 given nato is 200 degrees. Ay nusan ra nimo 180 degrees. So that is equals to 20 degrees. So the reference angle here is 20 degrees. And lastly is 330 degrees. So 330 degree angle. So 330 degree angle. So this is our angle. From initial going to terminal. So that is 330. So 360 degree. From terminal going here, this is the reference. So pila man ang remaining part ni 360. So 360 minus 30. So we will get 30 degrees angle.
Alright, so in continuation to our lesson, when we say linear measure, it is the length of the arc of the circle that subtends the angle, or it is also known as the arc length. So in our illustration here, we have our circle. Of course, in our circle, we can see our radius, our angle theta, and of course, the arc that subtends the angle is what we call as the linear measure, which is denoted with letter S. And the formula in getting the linear measure is given with this. S is equal to R times theta, or the angle. So for us to fully understand how to use this formula, so we have here our examples. Example number 1. Find the linear measure of a central angle of a circle with a radius of 5 cm whose angular measure is 2 radians. So our given here, our given is for the radius, we have 5 cm. And for the radians, we have 2. And what we are going to look for is to find the linear measure. So this is the missing part. And to recall, our formula is S is equals to R times theta. So we just have to substitute the given values here in our formula. So S is the missing, R is 5 cm times our angle, which is 2. So S is equals to 5 times 2, so that is 10 cm. And this is the value or the linear measure that subtends the angle. And this is the final answer. Alright, so for the next question, the arc length of a circle is given 25 meters. If the radius of the circle is 20 meters, find the measure of the central angle in radians. Okay? So, our given here is for the arc length. For the arc length, it measures 25 meters. For the radius, it is 20 meters. And for the central angle, so that is the missing part here. So, or the angle, central angle. So, what we are going to look for again is the central angle or the angle measure. So, to recall, our formula is S is equals to R times theta, and substitute the given values here in our formula. So, for S, of course, arc length here is given 25 meters equals R, which is equals to 20 meters. And for the central angle, so that is the missing. Okay, so divide both sides to get the value of our theta. So divide both sides by 20m. So cancel out 20m, 20m, cancel here m. Okay, and then what is left is 25 over 20 equals theta. And we can actually reduce this value. So they are divisible by 5. So 25 divided by 5, that is 5. 20 divided by 5, so that is 4. So 4 is the value of our central angle. And in decimal, that is 1.25 radians. It's because it is mentioned here that the angle should be in radians. So 1.25 radians. And this is the final answer. So I hope that is clear. Alright, so we have here our table, and let's try to fill in the missing parts. For number 1, we are given 200 degrees. So first, we need to convert it to radian. 200 degree angle times our formula. Of course, the numerator should be in radian. Pi rad. Pwede ra sa walay rad. It's because when we talk about pi, automatic that is in radian. So again, pi rad over 180 degrees. And when we multiply fractions, of course, numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So 200 degrees times pi rad, that is equals to 200 degrees pi rad. All over 1 times 180 degrees, so this is 180 degrees. So 200 degrees pi rad divided by pi, 180 degrees. So what is cancelled here is the degree symbol. And then 200 divided by 180. So that is, or they are both divisible by 20. So 200 degrees times divided by 20. So that is 10. All over 180 divided by 20. So that is 9. So 10 pi over 9. So the conversion again of 200 degrees, so that is 10 pi over 9. Now let's try to look for the quadrant. For example, this is our circle. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. Okay, so this is 0 degrees, this is 90 degree angle, 180 degree angle, this is 270 degree angle, this is 360 degrees angle. So, asam na dapita si 200 degree angle. So, this is for 0 to 90, so wala siya diri. So, 90 to 180, wala sa diha si 200 degrees. 180 to 270, so naa siya diri na locate. So, naa siya sa quadrant 3. Next, for the reference angle, of course, to recall, when we say reference angle, it is always less than 90 degrees. And always gina siya nga naa sa ato ang x-axis ang iyahang frame. Alright, so for example, na siya sa 200 degrees. Na siya sa third quadrant, si 200 degrees. For example, this is our angle. Okay, so this is 200 degree angle. And then, diba, this is our x-axis. So, our reference angle, which is less than 90 degrees, from your terminal side, going here is less than 90 degrees. So, pila daw ni siya. So, that is 200 degrees minus 180-degree angle, so that is 20 degrees. So our reference angle here is 20 degrees. Always make sure that it is always positive ang reference angle. So now for the co-terminal angle, sa irison ha, kay messy kaayo. Alright, for the co-terminal, so we are given 200 degrees. So we just need to add 360 degrees, and 200 degrees minus 360 degrees to get the positive and negative values of the co-terminal. So 200 degrees plus 360 degrees, so that is 560 degree angle. And as for the negative co-terminal angle, so that is negative 160 degrees. So for the co-terminal angles are 560 degrees and negative 160 degree angle. That's it for the first row. And for the second row, we are given 20 degrees as for the reference angle, and it is located in the third quadrant. For example, this is our circle. For example, this is our Cartesian. So in our Cartesian, our given is in the third quadrant, 20 degrees. So from the x-axis, so kuan lang ta diha, assume lang ta that this is 20 degree angle given. This is 20 degrees. Now, in getting the value or the angular measure, we have two ways to find the angular measure. It could be from the x-axis that rotates clockwise. Pwede ni siya. And pwede siya other way. Here sa ato ang x-axis or the initial side, rotate siya pa counterclock. Okay. So for the negative, either lang ha, either way. So for the negative value, so this is 180 minus 20, so pwede siya negative 160 degrees. For the positive, it can also be 180 degrees, since half of the circle is 180 degrees plus 20 degrees, so that is 200 degrees. So we can choose either of these two angles. But if you are comfortable of using the two angles, paderasod kaayo. So negative 160 degrees or 200 degrees angle. So in conversion, negative 160 degrees multiply, of course our goal is to convert it to radian, so make sure that the numerator is in radian, pi rad all over 180 degrees. Negative 160 times pi rad, so that is negative 160 degrees pi rad all over 180 degrees. Cancel out degree, and 160 divided by 180, so that is 8 over 9, negative 8 over 9 pi rad. So this is the conversion for the negative 160 degrees. Negative 8 pi over 9 rad. And as for the 200 degree angle, so given naman na siya ganihan no, sa ato ang kuan previous example. So this one, so pwede ra na nato dili na lang apilon, mag negative na lang ta, kay given naman ni siya ganiha, same ra na siya. Okay, so ato lang ni siya i-reason si 200 degrees. Okay. Alright, so as for the coterminal angles, so to get the value of our coterminal, negative 160, just have to add. Pwede rin sa class nga itong gamiton is negative 8 pi. So let's try. Negative 8 pi over 9 plus 2 pi. So common denominator is 9. 9 divided by 9 divided by 9, so that is 1 times negative 8 pi, so that is negative 8 pi. 9 divided by 1, 9 divided by 1, so that is 9 times 2, so that is 18 pi. So sa reason, negative 8 pi plus 18 pi, so that is equals to is equal to 10 pi over 9. And this is for the positive coterminal. For the negative coterminal, negative 8 pi all over 9 minus 2 pi. Common denominator is 9. 9 divided by 9, so that is 1 times negative 8 pi, so negative 8 pi. 9 divided by 1, so that is 9 times 2. So that is positive, 9 divided by 1, so that is 9 times negative 2 pi, so negative 18, sorry. Negative 18 pi. So negative 8 plus negative 18, so that is negative 26 pi over 9. Okay? So these are our coterminals. Pwede rin sa inyong gamiton kay in degrees. Pero ang dimension man dai diri ay wala man dimension. Pero dapat in degrees ni siya, actually nalimtan lang nako suwat. So let's try to convert 10 pi over 9. So 10 pi over 9 times 180 degrees over pi. So that is 10 times 180 is 1,800 degrees pi all over 9 pi. So 180 divided by 9 is equals to 20 degrees. And then as for the negative 26 pi all over 9 times 180 degrees pi equals 26 times 180 is equals to 4,680 all over degrees pi rad. This is negative 9 times pi, so that is 9 pi. 4,680 divided by 9, so that is equals to 520 negative 520 degrees. So these are the coterminal angles. And lastly, for the given negative 5 pi over 3, so let's try to convert this to degrees. So again, in converting to degrees, we need to multiply it using with the numerator 180 degrees. So negative 5 pi over 3 times 180 degrees all over pi rad or pi. So either way, 5 times 180, so that is negative 900 degrees pi all over 3 pi rad. So cancel out pi. What is left is negative 900 degrees divided by 3, and that is equals to negative 300 degrees. So this is negative 300 degrees. So for the quadrant, of course, let's say this is our Cartesian plane. So this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. So this is 0 degrees. If it is clockwise rotation, this is 0 degrees. This is 90 degree angle. This is 180, this is negative 90 degrees, negative 180 degrees, negative 270 degrees, and this is negative 360 degree angle. And 0 to 90, so wala siya diri. Negative 90 to 180, wala sa gihapon. Negative 180 to negative 270, wala gihapon. But here, siya na-locate sa quadrant 1, which is negative 270 degrees to 360 degrees. So, naadiha si negative 300 degree angle. So, first quadrant. So, assuming that this is the angle 300 degrees from the initial side, rotate siya here. So, this is the negative 300 degree angle. And as for the reference angle, of course, it is always less than 90 degrees. So, this is the reference angle. And as we all know that the full revolution of a circle is equals to negative 360 degree angle if the rotation is clockwise. So, our given angle is negative 300. So, convert it to positive. So, it will become 300 degrees. So, 360 degrees minus 300. So, that is 60 degree angle. Pwede naman sa ninyo mabana-bana class. This is 300. So, pila naman yung mahabilin diri to make the full circle to 360. So, of course, it is 60 degrees angle. So, reference angle is 60 degrees. And as for the coterminal angles, so we just have to add and deduct 360 degrees angle to the given angle. So our given angle is 300 degrees. So plus 360 degrees. So that is equals to 60 degrees. Negative 300 degrees plus 360 degrees. Minus, sorry. This is minus. Minus. So again, 300 degrees. 300 degrees minus 360 degrees. So that is equal to 660 degrees. Negative 660 degrees. So these are the coterminal angles of the given angle, negative 300 degrees, 60 degrees, and negative 660 degrees. So let's try to illustrate, class, if it really arrive at a certain terminal angle at the same angle. For example, this is our Cartesian. This is our angle. Sorry. So this is our angle, negative 360 degrees. Ako lang gamay yun. 300 degrees. So if mo rotate ta from the initial, so di man ta mo stop diha. Kung mo stop ta diha, that is still equal to negative 300 degrees. So we need to rotate again. Okay. Ay, dili, lapas na ta. Okay, balik ko lang na ako. Rotate ta, stop ta here. So let's try to calculate the illustration. So from here, rotate, first rotation, this is 360, negative 360 degrees. Dayon, kani siya nga rotation, this is negative 180 degrees. Then, so kani siya nga rotation, kaning remaining rotation, so we don't know kung pila ni siya, but we know nga kani siya nga rotation is 300. So meaning the remaining part here, kini siya is equal to 60 degrees, right? So you just have to deduct 60 to 180, and that is 120 degrees. So plus negative 120 degrees. So let's try to add 360, negative 360 plus negative 180 plus negative 120, and that is equal to 660. So correct. This equals to negative 660 degrees. Alright, so next, the same angle, but this is for the illustration of the positive coterminal. So this is the rotation for the given, which is negative 300. And then, since positive man na tong rotation, so mag-una ta diri, rotate ta pa clockwise, counterclockwise. Ay, joke lang. Pa counterclock. So, ari ra tataman kay kung motuyok pa ta diha, pwede ra man siya actually. But the nearest coterminal is from the initial, then stop ta sa terminal. So, as we all know, this is negative 300 degrees. And then, remaining ana is 60 degree angle. So, this part is positive 60 degrees. So, correct ka ra, negative 660 degrees and 60 degree angle for the coterminals angle of negative 300 degrees. And that ends with our explanation to this table.